So in this video we're going to look at the 11 ways to creating seductive and engaging headlines. Getting the headline right is one of the biggest battles because this is what needs to grab people's attention so that they actually decide to read your content in the first place. If they don't like the headline, then they're not going to read your content, which means you've lost them before you even start. You see, with so much information hitting people's eyeballs every single day, you really need to stand out from the crowd and engage them immediately. So let's have a look at the first of the 11 ways. Use numbers. Numbers are important because they initially tell us the limit of the content, which basically means they know where the start is, because that's the start of the first number, and they know where the end is. They know it's not going to carry on forever, this thing. And they also alert us to the fact that the content should be fairly easy to scan, because we know it should be chunked into these numbers with subheadlines for each number. How many times do you see numbers in headlines these days? And that's because it works. I used a number in this headline for this particular video, 11 ways to create seductive headlines. The next tip is keywords. How do people surf the web? Well, they type in keywords into the search engines, mainly Google. If you use keywords that are most likely to be searched on, then you should hopefully rank for these keywords, especially if it's a popular article and gets lots of backlinks to it. And it's a whole lot more likely that you'll rank if you have the actual keywords within the title and within the content. But this also has a double effect, because if somebody types a keyword into Google and then they actually see that keyword within your title, then subconsciously they feel a connection to your content immediately, because they see the headline as very relevant to them. And not only that, Google actually bolds keywords that have been typed into Google within the title. Let me show you. Let's type in SEO tips into Google. Well, can you see here SEO tips has been bolded here. 55, there's numbers again, 55 quick SEO tips even your mother would love. SEO tips and tricks 2012. SEO tips, top 10 SEO tips, again bolding out. These are quite bad titles though, because you wouldn't really want to put the same keyword in twice. Here's a good one, 8 SEO tips for small businesses. And as you can see, the SEO tips has been bolded because that's what I typed in to Google. But also one of the factors for why these are actually ranking on the top 10 is because they are actually in the title. There are other factors as well, but it does help to have it within the title. You can find out what types of words people are entering into Google by using their free tool, and it's really easy. All you need to do is type in keyword tool into Google, and of course Google like to rank themselves top as always, and then just click on it. And again, this is totally free, and if you're logged in, it should get you straight into the tool. Like with Google Reader and Google Alerts, you just need a Google account. So let's type in lead generation, because that's my expertise. What we also need to do is just check the advanced options here and just make sure that it's United Kingdom if that's what you're targeting, or just choose the specific country you are targeting. Make sure it's English, make sure it's desktops and laptops, and then click search, and then click on keyword ideas here. And as you can see, it's giving you lots of keyword ideas here. And over here on this side, it shows you how many searches are received on Google every month. And this is global within the world, and this section here is local, meaning the UK. So let's toggle that, I should say sort that, by clicking this column here. And as you can see, it gives you lots of stuff that is fairly related to lead generation. But if you want to drill down again and just make sure that it's just got the terms lead and generation in there, then you can click on this here, which is only show ideas closely related to my search terms, and then click search again. And as you can see, it's just all totally lead generation related. As you can see here, you know, the term lead generation gets 22,000 hits on Google every month. But this is broad match, which isn't as targeted as phrase match or exact match, for example. So what I always do is use phrase match. You see, broad match just basically means that the words lead and generation have been typed into Google, but other words have been typed in there as well. and not necessarily in that word order, lead generation word order. Phrase match means that the words lead generation have been typed in within that particular order and other words in there as well. So, lead generation companies, for example. So I won't go into all the technicalities of this. I could go into showing you how to check how competitive keywords are and all that kind of stuff, but we just want to make it as simple as possible because I don't want you to be overfaced at this point. If you do feel that you do want to learn keyword research in a lot more depth, then just give me a shout and I can send you some more links to some more videos and you can learn some more there. But as you can see here, lead generation companies, 1,600 people type in that into Google either as it is lead generation companies or with other words as well. So it might be best lead generation companies, but it will always be lead generation companies in that word order. Also B2B lead generation, that's getting 720 searches. Online lead generation, so you could do a great title, online lead generation done well, or 6 tips to make sure online lead generation is done well. Or down here, brilliant one, lead generation techniques, the 7 lead generation techniques you should know. Another one here, lead generation ideas. So do you see where I'm coming from here? If you've never done keyword research before, hopefully some light bulb moments will be going on here, because you'll be thinking, well, at least I'm not plucking keywords out of thin air now. I can actually type them in here and make sure that they are actually getting searched upon, because there's no point in creating a title using keywords that people don't actually use and don't type in to come and find you in Google, because you probably won't rank, your page won't rank, and therefore it won't get much traffic. And also remember the relevancy. If a lot of people are actually typing that in and then they see it bolded within Google and also that subconscious connection because of the relevancy, then it's going to work a lot better. So that's how to use the Google keyword tool in a very, very simple way. The next tip is to try and use 8 words or less. It's the rule of thumb that just try and keep headlines at 8 words or less. There are some copywriters who would definitely oppose this, and in some cases they would be right, and sometimes I use a lot more. But the majority of the time this is enough to grab people's attention without losing them. I usually keep mine to around about 12 or less. I sometimes go a bit over. Just as we said, use pain in your content, well, the next tip is to also use it within your headlines. So here are some pain examples. The top 5 reasons most businesses fail in the UK. Why most businesses fail in the first 12 months. And lastly, 7 things you must avoid if you want to succeed. So again, it's just tapping in to that pain hot button. And just as we said, use pleasure in your content, the same is true with headlines. So here's some pleasure examples. How to double your productivity working 50% less. So how to make lots more money by working less. Don't we all want that? 7 ways to increase your sales whilst reducing your calls. How to double your business in 12 months or less. So there's your pleasure examples. And just as we said, use curiosity in content, again the same is true with headlines. So here's some curiosity examples. The one thing every business must do to survive the recession. That's going to make you want to read it, especially if you think it's just one thing. Oh, I'll pop in there and check that out. The 10 lies you will hear from recruitment agencies. Now, sorry if you're a recruiter, but that's going to grab your attention, especially if you own your own business and you recruit through recruitment agencies. And that could even come from a recruitment agency. We're the good guys, but the thing here is to grab curiosity, to grab their attention and get them intrigued. Now, another tip is to use capitals at the start of every letter. This is something that truly works and has been proven countless times. I've tested it lots within my email outs, and I've found that if I split test, then the ones with capitals at the start of every letter actually get a higher open rate. I like to use capitals on the main letters. I think that's not on the conjunctions, I think. I didn't do too well at English at school. Another tip is to use how to at the start of the headline. You see headlines that start with how to absolutely everywhere, and that's because it works like a charm and always grabs people's attention. An example would be how to increase sales with less work. Another one is to use the phrase reasons why within the headline. It works a treat and basically consists of a number before the reasons why and then a list of features or tips or benefits. Here's an example. 10 reasons why Gmail is better than Outlook. Again, that grabs your curiosity, and also if you're a Gmail user, it makes you want to read it so that you can use it for bragging rights against people in your office, for example, who use Outlook. And if you're an Outlook user, you really want to see it because you want to go, wow, why is this Gmail that good? Another tip is to ask a provocative question. When asking a question in your title, it's important to make sure that it's relevant to your reader. An example would be, do you make these 7 common mistakes with your corporation tax? Well, any business owner or financial director is going to think, wow, I've got to read that. I definitely pay a lot of corporation tax. Maybe I'm paying too much. Or maybe I'm doing it wrong and could get myself into trouble. I've got to read this. Another tip is to have a blank guide to blank. So just fill in the blanks. Here are some examples. A beginner's guide to successful recruitment. A dummy's guide to guaranteed sales. These again work like a charm. So I hope these 11 tips will help you carve some fantastic headlines and ensure that you get a really good following. All the example headlines in this video are going to be in a PDF under this video so that you can download it and you can look at it whenever you want then. You may even want to print it off and just put it on your wall next to your computer so that you can just pull off ideas whenever you want. So that was the 11 ways to create seductive and engaging headlines. I'm Kenny Goodman from findtheedge.com. I'll speak to you again soon.